Every sinew in Nathan's body tensed. His knuckles whitened as he prepared to strike with his dagger.
"Stop this! At once!"
A calm, authoritative voice sounded from amongst the students assembled. The soldiers froze.
"I will speak for Nathan Hayfield."
All heads turned to the speaker. It was one of the students, only a year older than Nathan and Baylor, but everyone knew his name. It was Stewart Lightstone. Stewart had chestnut hair and a noble complexion. His eyes possessed a certain regal kindness that was associated with his house. He was dressed simply in a light blue tunic, and the students parted before him. It was well known throughout Godricshall that Stewart Lightstone was the star pupil of the Academy of Mystic Blades. Nathan cocked his head curiously, his dagger still poised for bloodshed.
Why would the youngest son of High Lord Lightstone stick his neck out for me?
Stewart strode forward and faced Cedric Raven.
"I must say, I feel the deepest shame towards you, Cedric. A noble's word is his bond, and you broke it by agreeing to witness a duel, then acting as a turncloak when the results pleased you not."
He turned to Drogan Blackwood.
"Headmaster, I saw everything. It is as they say. Jason Clay set an ambush, and Nathan turned it into a duel before defeating him. But he only struck lethally when Clay nearly slit the throat of his friend."
Drogan Blackwood ground his teeth. His hands fidgeted with his pendant.
"Art thou sure, young Master Lightstone? I know it is difficult to see through the underbrush."
"I am certain, Headmaster. I swear upon my family name."
The assembled students gasped. For the son of High Lord Lucius Lightstone to place the honor of his house on a truth was no small matter. Nathan grinned as he watched the headmaster squirm.
"Blackwood had other plans for me. He must be a servant of the Raven family as well."
The guards lowered their spears and stepped back. Cedric Raven hissed in Blackwood's ear. Nathan turned his head to the side so he could catch what they were saying with his enhanced hearing.
"If you let him go, this will weaken the Raven's name."
"I cannot refute the invocation of a High Lord."
The two turned back. Standing next to them, Michael Clay, Golden Axe, and a pair of their guards watched Cedric and the headmaster with incredulous expressions. Golden Axe spoke first.
"Is that it? 'Tis one High Lord's son against another. Why should the Lightstone's word carry more weight?"
Stewart turned to Golden Axe. He bowed courteously.
"My lord, have you ever known me to tell lies, half-truths, falsehoods?"
Golden Axe shook his head.
"But I can see that you have a point. Mayhap we should take this to the Duke to decide."
Golden Axe cut Stewart off.
"No, that will not be necessary."
He snapped at his men. The two soldiers carefully picked up Jason's broken body and carried it away from the forest. The city guards followed suit. Golden Axe turned to face Drogan Blackwood.
"My brother will hear of your failure to produce justice."
A shudder passed through the headmaster's body, and all he could do was weakly bow. Golden Axe left the clearing. Before going, Michael shot one more barbed comment at Nathan.
"Thou hast doomed thy house this day, boy. The Hayfields will soon be nothing."
Nathan winked at Michael Clay.
"Funny you should say that. If you attempt violence upon my friends and family again, no one will even remember the House Clay."
Michael's eyes widened, and he hastily followed his uncle. No one had dared make such a brazen comment against his family before. The group of students continued to whisper to each other. That day, they had seen Nathan Hayfield take down a powerful student and stand toe-to-toe with the headmaster himself. If that 12-year-old made threats, odds were good that he intended to see them through. Once the Clays were gone, the headmaster screamed at the students.
"Back to class, everyone! I expect to see everyone in their proper studies in a quarter hour, or I will make you suffer the consequences."
All of the trainees rushed back to the academy. When they arrived back at the ornate building, Nathan tapped Stewart Lightstone on the shoulder.
"My Lord Lightstone, thank you."
Stewart grinned at Nathan.
"Please, call me Stewart, and no, I should be apologizing to you. I should have spoken sooner, saved you the tedium of self-defense."
Nathan shook his head.
"The fact that you spoke at all does you credit."
Stewart laughed.
"I appreciate your praise. Best go to class, or the headmaster will truly have your hide."
And he spoke the last comment under his breath.
"Asura knows he's seeking every excuse for it."
Stewart departed. Nathan and Baylor stood in the entrance hall, not sure of where exactly to go yet. Just as they were about to follow a group of students to the training yard, a voice stopped them.
"Hayfield! Baylor!"
They turned. There, towering over them, was Headmaster Drogan Blackwood. His face was flushed, and his eyes burning with savage rage.
"Now you may have convinced a lording and some guards of your innocence, but I remain unconverted."
He leaned over his pupils. The Blackwood orchid swung from his neck like a sinister pendulum.
"I mean to make an example of you. You cannot defy my authority and roam unburdened by consequences."
Baylor shrunk before the headmaster's withering gaze, but Nathan merely crossed his arms defiantly.
"You have no authority, Drogan. You are a sad little king of a sad little hill. You torture young trainees because it makes you feel like you have real power, but in reality, you're just a puppet, dancing on strings over which you have no control."
The headmaster's red visage looked like it was about to burst with a combination of anger, embarrassment, and shock.
"I still have the authority to expel you. What say you to that?"
Nathan didn't say anything about it. He simply seized the chain around Drogan Blackwood's neck and pulled. The headmaster gasped in shock, but before he could grab his necklace, Nathan tossed the whole necklace into his hand, squeezing as hard as he could. The Blackwood orchid cracked and split into 1,000 tiny pieces. Nathan opened his palm and let the shards of broken jewel fall on the ground. Drogan Blackwood seemed genuinely speechless, his chin hanging open like a banner on a windless day. Nathan fixed the headmaster with an icy glare.
"You no longer have even the authority to expel me, Drogan. I have learned the last lesson here at Mystic Blades. Thanks to you, it might be the most important one I ever learned."
The headmaster sputtered in anger and confusion.
"And what lesson was that, you impertinent little monster?"
Nathan paused, as if thinking for a moment. Then he twisted the metaphorical knife.
"Never waste your time on toadies."
With that, Nathan Hayfield strode out of the academy forever, followed by an impressed Baylor. The barbed ends of the whip sliced through the prisoner's flesh. The condemned man cried out in agony, and blood seeped through newly opened gashes. Shadows cast by the flickering torchlight concealed the face of the torturer. His arms were slick with sweat, and he grunted more fiercely with each swing of the lash. At the knock, the torturer stopped.
"Enter."
The great oak doors cracked, and a beam of orange light illuminated the man. He was a graying fellow with curved eyebrows and sallow cheeks. His pointed beard was surrounded by a curtain of stubble. Dark circles hung under his eyes.
"Have I not told you I am not to be disturbed?"
The stooping servant cowered.
1,000 apologies, Lord Clay. I would have heeded your edict, but the man insisted.
What man?
The servant pushed the door open wider, and in stepped a tall figure in a black cloak. He removed his hood, showing a jet-black beard and sinister, plotting eyes.
Lord Byrum Clay, my brother and I were heartbroken to hear of your loss.
Claudius Raven took a deep bow. The sweating torturer stood back, astonished. A visit from the High Lord Raven's brother was rare, almost as rare as that of Lord Remus himself. Claudius stood and observed the dark room. His gaze eventually fell upon the bloody slab of human who hung helplessly from an iron in the wall. Claudius raised an eyebrow.
What manner of crime did he commit?
Lord Byrum grunted.
I have not the time to observe all the petty disputes among my vassals. My officers claim he deserved some lessons, and so here I am.
Claudius nodded and walked to the other side of the room.
Your lady tells me you have not been to see your son.
Lord Byrum blinked and looked away, uncomfortable.
There is nothing left to see. A bloody husk. A failure. His death was his own fault.
With another grunt, Byrum swung his whip and slashed it across the prisoner's side. The man cried out in pain. Byron chuckled.
What I cannot fathom is how my younger son, pathetic runt though he was, lost to a weakling, a Hayfield.
Claudius Raven nodded sagely.
It is vexing. It appears the son of Sir Ulrich has cultivated an unusual skill set for a young boy. We have our spies looking into it as we speak. Already rumors are circulating all around Godricshall. Rumors that he may grow in strength to elevate his house.
Byrum laughed mirthlessly. He seized a goblet of wine off a small table and took a swig.
He shall not live to grow. Whenever that hedge knight's afterbirth squirms his way into the public eye, we shall find him, and my son shall be avenged.
Lord Clay lashed out at the prisoner again. This time, the man barely made a sound. Claudius tapped his fingers together.
My Lord Byrum, my visit here is twofold. First, I wish to express the Raven's support of House Clay's quest for vengeance. We will never rest comfortably until your blood has been sated.
Byrum nodded, sweat pouring down his head.
But, my lord, the second part of my visit will not please you as well.
Byrum inhaled sharply.
Doth the High Lord tell me to hold until word is given?
Claudius nodded. Byrum breathed in and out, frantically, his chest heaving as he barely gulped enough air to live. He screamed at the raven.
And if a raven was slain in cold blood, wouldst thou take it easily? The command to wait? Would you stand by as Grimgor, Remus, Cedric, or even bloody Niles were severed from life?
He shook his head defiantly at Claudius.
Not by all rights. My sons and I should cut him open and eat his heart while it still beats. We should tear him limb from limb and unmake him. We should...
Claudius held up a hand. Byrum stopped.
My Lord Clay, you have made your point well, but we cannot move against the Hayfields, not while the Lightstones have spoken for them. However, rest assured, we will have your time of vengeance. 3 years hence, at the nobility exam, my brother is planning it all well. The Hayfields matter not. They will be erased from history.
Byrum sputtered, and Claudius clicked his fingers. Guards entered and removed the bloody prisoner from the wall. When Byrum protested, Claudius spoke again.
But of course, we do not expect you to live off of promises only. So High Lord Remus Raven hath brought you a gift, to sate your appetite as we prepare your vengeance.
A pair of guards lugged in a new prisoner and affixed him to the wall where the old one had been. Lord Byrum Clay looked over toward the wall, and there, beaten, bloody, and sobbing, was Headmaster Drogan Blackwood.
Please subscribe to the Pocket FM YouTube channel and press the bell icon for instant notification. Check out our channel for more such exciting shows.